All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping into a really fascinating and, let's be honest, a pretty provocative geopolitical theory. It connects two things you'd probably never think to put together: super cheap solar panels and the overwhelming power of the US dollar. The idea is that there's a huge strategic play happening, and it's all hiding right out in the open.
Okay, so let's start with the big mystery here. For years now, economists and analysts have been scratching their heads, watching China just churn out an insane number of solar panels, selling them at prices so low it honestly looks like they're taking a loss on every single one. Now, the typical answer is, they're trying to dominate the market. But what if it's something else entirely? Something way, way bigger. Well, according to the theory we're digging into today, the answer is right here in this one powerful idea. This isn't really about a business competition in green energy. It's about dismantling the very foundation of their biggest rival's economic power. So let's unpack what that actually means.
So, first things first, we need to look at this puzzle a little differently. The theory argues that China isn't just selling a product here. No, they are systematically changing the entire global energy system. See, they're not trying to win the game, they're trying to make the old game completely obsolete.
But look, before we get into how solar plays into all this, we have to understand what the actual target is. To really solve the puzzle of China's strategy, you first have to grasp the incredible power of something called the petrodollar system.
The petrodollar system, this is the absolute bedrock of the dollar's power around the world. Ever since the 1970s, there's been one simple rule for the planet's most important commodity. If you want to buy or sell oil on the global market, you've got to use US dollars. This simple fact creates a constant, kind of artificial demand for American currency from basically every single country on the planet.
And the scale is just mind-blowing. We are talking about an estimated $2 trillion in demand every single year. And it's not discretionary. That means countries don't choose to buy dollars to get oil. They have to. It's this built-in structural demand that makes the dollar the world's go-to indispensable reserve currency.
So this is basically the dollar's secret sauce. It all starts with a simple physical reality. Oil is in specific places, it's scarce, but everybody everywhere needs it. That means you have to ship it all over the world, which means you need one currency to make all that trade simple, and that currency is the US dollar. The result? A never-ending forced demand for dollars from literally everyone, and that is the foundation of its global power.
So, if the whole petrodollar system is built on the physics of oil, the fact that it's scarce and located in specific places, how on earth do you attack that? Well, according to this theory, you don't attack the money, you attack the physics. The source material calls this the thermodynamic takedown. And this right here, this is the aha moment. This comparison lays the whole argument out. The petrodollar system works because oil is scarce, it's localized, and it requires constant global transport, creating those recurring dollar flows. Solar is the complete opposite. You make the panel one time, and the energy source, the sun, is everywhere, it's local, and it's free. It doesn't need to be shipped. There are no recurring transactions to get the fuel. The whole dollar recycling machine, it just evaporates.
And that brings us right to the heart of it. Every single solar panel China sells at a loss, well, it's not a business mistake. It's a strategic investment. Every panel that gets installed anywhere on Earth is like a tiny little pinprick in the physical foundation of the petrodollar system. The goal isn't profit. The goal is the slow, steady dismantling of their rival's entire source of power.
Now, once you start to see the world through this lens, a lot of recent geopolitical moves start to look, well, really different. The theory says this isn't happening in a bubble. It gives you a whole new way to understand other major plays on the world stage.
Think about it. Why are the US tariffs on Chinese solar panels so incredibly aggressive? Maybe it's not just about protecting jobs. And why does China seem totally okay with other countries copying its renewable tech? Because they want everyone to use it. Why is the US all of a sudden pushing hard for nuclear power again? Well, because it's centralized, it requires huge dollar-based financing. It's the exact opposite of decentralized solar. In effect,
China is paying for the rest of the world to quit the very system that holds the dollar up. And here's the most brilliant part of this maneuver, as the source describes it. It's all disguised as something wonderful. How can any country stand up and publicly fight against cheap, clean energy to combat climate change? You can't. You'd look like a monster. So all you can do is complain about things like unfair trade practices, while the actual foundation of your currency is quietly eroding underneath you.
So let's zoom all the way out. Let's look at the end game here. If this strategy actually works, it doesn't just shift who has the top currency. It could fundamentally change our entire world. This is what makes the whole strategy so powerful. It completely bypasses normal financial warfare. Instead of fighting a currency war, it just changes the physical reality of our world. By shifting energy from something scarce and global to something abundant and local, the main reason for the dollar's dominance is, well, it's just engineered out of existence. And that leaves us with a truly massive, world-altering question. Think about it. If energy becomes almost free and you can get it anywhere there's sun, why would we ship everything all over the planet? Manufacturing could come back home. The whole complex system of global trade that we've built our world on could shrink. And if that happens, what's the point of a global reserve currency at all? In that future, the sun wouldn't just be burning the dollar, it would be remaking the entire world.